What's up, y'all? Anj here from Healthblerds, and are excited to do this video today. We're talking about collard green wraps. Not just any collard green wraps. My girl Afia Ibomu's collard green wrap recipe from her cookbook, The Vegan Remix. These wraps are bomb. I took them to a work function a couple weeks ago, and they got rave reviews. So I'm excited to share this recipe with y'all. What I love about this recipe is that it is low carb. You know I love a good low carb recipe. This one does use vermicelli rice noodles, but you can really control how much noodles you put into each collard green wrap. So if you want yours to be low, you could of course skip that ingredient or just put very little, and then it's for low carb. Another thing that I love about this recipe is that it is low oil. So my mom recently has been talking to me about how important it is to reduce your oil consumption. That includes extra virgin olive oil, which is crazy because I've always thought that EVOO was good for me, but everything in moderation, right? So this recipe is also low oil, low fat. The best part of this recipe is that it's full of flavor. It's basically almost all vegetables with just a few rice noodles, and so every single bite you're just getting a flavorful party in your mouth. So it's really good. A few cons to making this collard green wrap recipe is it's somewhat time intensive. There's a lot of chopping involved. I used my food processor to help speed the process up, but if you don't have one, it's a lot of chopping. So that's one con. Another con to this recipe is it's not like a whole meal. I would say this would be a good complement to like a full spread. We dipped it in peanut sauce, which I didn't make in this video today, but I would definitely recommend just having a dipping sauce with these if you choose to. They're great on their own. They're actually really good on their own, but a dipping sauce just adds an extra level to it. But I definitely would say like these collard wraps would go really well if they were just like a piece of a larger entree. Okay, so my girl Afia Ibomu wrote this book, The Vegan Remix. Clearly, I really love it because I have all these like tabs and like bookmarks of recipes that I've tried and recipes that I want to try. I actually got it from Mandela Grocery Cooperative, and she signed this book with love to Mandela Foods, which is really special. If you see this video, we love you, and let's definitely keep collaborating. Okay, without further ado, let's get into it. This was my first time blanching actually while making this recipe, so that was really fun. So basically what I did to start was I put a big old pot of water on the stove, and I added a little bit of salt to the water and just tried to bring that to a boil. I think I put a lid on it and tried to bring that to a boil. So while the water was heating up, I unbunched my collard greens, cut the stems off of those, and then I started chopping. I diced tomatoes, about half a cup of tomatoes, opened my can of chickpeas and drained the water out of them. And then I roughly chopped my chickpeas. I used about half a cup. And then into my food processor, I put half of a small head of red cabbage. So I sliced those in the food processor so that I could get really thin, even pieces. So for the carrots, I used a shredder to get the pieces even and nice. And I chopped up some red bell pepper. I chopped up 2 green onions. I had some cilantro that was already chopped up, and that's pretty much what I did while I was waiting for my water to boil. There's also a sauce element to this recipe, and that's just, it gives the noodles, the rice noodles, a little bit of flavor. So that sauce is made up of toasted sesame oil. Like I said, it's just 2 tablespoons, and this sauce is stretched over all wraps. This recipe makes like 10 to 12 wraps, and so this 2 tablespoons of sesame oil is stretched over all 10 to 12 wraps. So 2 tablespoons of sesame oil, 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, a little pinch of salt, the cilantro, which I think was about 2 tablespoons, and then you just whisk that together. Okay, so by now the water will be boiling, so go ahead and get in a mixing bowl, create an ice bath. So just all the ice that I had in my ice trays, I think I've added maybe like a cup of water to that, and then I just started dunking my collard greens in. So I put a timer on my phone for 60 seconds, and I used my tongs. I love my kitchen tongs. It's like one of the things in the kitchen that I find myself using a lot, actually. So I went ahead and one by one put 1 collard green leaf in the boiling water, stem side down. And then after 60 seconds, when my timer went off, I used my tongs, pulled it out of the boiling water and put it in the ice bath for about 30 seconds. And then the ice bath, what it does is it cools down the leaf really quickly, stops it from cooking any further, and then I just put it on a towel to help it dry. I basically just repeated that process 10 to 12 times. I would just like put a towel down, dump the next one, leave it in there for 60 seconds, pull it out, put it in the ice bath for about half the time, 30 seconds, and then put it on the towel. And then I just put another towel down and just, repeated that process for all 10 to 12 wraps. Once all of the collard greens are blanched, I like the word blanched, like Blanche from the Golden Girls. Once all the collard greens are blanched, I use the same water because I hate doing dishes, so I'd be trying to reduce the amount of dirty dishes after cooking. So I use the same exact water. It was a little bit tinted green, but I went ahead and dropped the whole pack of vermicelli noodles into the boiling water and then just cooked those according to the package directions. Once those were ready, I strained them. I rinsed them in cold water to stop the cooking. And then I kind of tried to dry them off, shake the water off, and then I put them in a large mixing bowl. Then I put the sauce on the noodles and tried to shake it up, get the sauce all, spread around evenly amongst all the noodles. And then I just framed my cutting board with all the bowls, put 1 collard green wrap in the middle of my cutting board, put a little bit of the rice noodles in, a little bit of each other chopped vegetable in my wrap. And I didn't want to put too much. Definitely be mindful of not overfilling your wrap because it's really hard to roll. But the fun part about this recipe, and also I think would be really cool if you have kids, one part that might be fun is, for them to wash their hands and help you roll the wrap. But it was really easy. You just put the leaf with the stem side towards the bottom and then fill your leaf up. Just roll it, tuck the corners in, and then roll it really tightly so you get a firm roll. And it is kind of like a healthy spring roll vibe, which I really love. So yeah, repeat that process until all the collard greens are used up. Again, you can adjust how much vermicelli rice noodles that you put in there. If you're trying to be extra low carb, this could certainly be all vegetables in there, easy. Then once it's done, just put them in a nice little cute dish and you're ready to go. These kept really well in the fridge for 3 or 4 days. And I was just grabbing them, snacking on them as I was running out the door. I would make myself a salad for lunch, but then put 2 little collard green wraps on top. And it's just a little added extra something. That's good. Yeah, so I hope that you will try this recipe. I highly recommend it. It is dairy-free, nut-free, gluten-free, low oil, low fat, grain-free, and it came from our girl. We were inspired by the Vegan Remix cookbook, Afia Ibomu. So shout out to you. Thank you very much. And yeah, I hope that you'll give this recipe a try. If you do try it, let us know in the comments below what you think. Let us know if there's any other healthy, fun, creative things that you do with collard greens. I kind of want to try using collard greens in other recipes, because I literally had never used collard greens other than just making a pot of greens. Like that's the only way I've ever had collard greens. So this was the first recipe that I did something different with the collard, and it's pretty cool. So if you have other collard green recipes or just general healthy meal ideas, let us know. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Love you very much. Mwah. See you next time. All right, stay blurty. All right, peace. Bye for real.